This call may be recorded or
Good morning, Vice Chair Smith here. Nathan.
This is Peggy. There are Chair Hinio and also Amber, Delegate Crotty, that are they're on another call waiting for a quorum with the committee. So you're the third member. We just need one more. We also have the Gaming Enterprise and Shiaj, Mr. Daniel. I'm sorry, also Ramon. Oh, okay. And Byron.
Steven. All right. Thank you. We'll wait for a couple other members to make it a quorum. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. Yell hairs on the line.
Okay, good morning, Jimmy. This is Peggy. Now we have a quorum. The Vice Chair, Chair Hinio, and also Amber Crotty. They're all on the line, as is Gaming Enterprise, and Mr. Daniels, and Byron Shorty, and also Ramon. I'm not sure
Peggy.
if Legislative Council is on there or not. Yes?
Peggy, I sent 2 documents to you, and that's in reference to a Forest Lake Chapter House after letter to specifications that as to why 3 officials were not paid in 2017. I forwarded to you that letter. And I also called Dr. Yellowman's office to stand by a Brenda Holgate for her assistance too. And yeah, Peggy, appreciate it. God bless you this morning for preparing everything for us here at our kids. And thank you, Peggy. I'll be on the line.
You're welcome. Jimmy, I haven't received any of those documents. When did you email those?
Oh, I don't know if I sent your direct cell number. The cell number left
To
it in there.
Oh, it's your cell number. A regular email to the NavajoNSN.gov. That would be good.
Okay,
and then I can email everybody.
Okay,
Thank
you very much, Peggy. So, okay, thank you very much, Peggy.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hello? Anybody on the line?
Yes, Shania Daniel So. Nishindu?
Yo. Oh.
Okay, good morning. Yeah, we have a quorum, and right now, Jamie Hinyo and Amber, they're on another call, but they'll join us soon. So we also have Billa Raymond Smith and also Jimmy Yellowhair. And then we also have Gaming Enterprise as well as Shiaj Herman Daniels.
Okay, I'll listen in.
All righty, well, thank you. And everyone, don't forget to mute your phone. Thank you.
Peggy, do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do, Chair.
Okay. Ramona, can you do a roll call for us?
Sure. Roll call for the Budget and Finance Committee of the Navajo Nation Council. Special meeting, July 14, 2020. Teleconference, Jamie Hinyo, and your location, please.
Here, I'm in Raymond, New Mexico.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Raymond Smith Jr.
Present.
I'm sorry, Chanela, I didn't get your location.
That's on.
So I don't know, but I don't know how they're going to do it. That's
Okay.
That's what the
Thank you, Chanela. Jimmy Yellowhair. Jimmy Yellowhair. Elmer P. Begay. Elmer P. Begay. Amber Kennesbaugh Crotty.
Delegate Amber Kennesbaugh Crotty is present, calling in from Sheep Springs. Thank you.
Thank you, Shadeja. Nathaniel Brown. Nathaniel Brown. Chair, we have 3 members present.
Okay, I thought I heard Delegate Yellowhair.
Yeah, Chair, Jimmy has to email some stuff for his legislation, the tabled legislation 43-20. And so I think he's doing that right now. So, but he was on the call.
Okay, all right. So we'll wait again then. So one more member comes on. While we're waiting, Mr. Parrish, are you ready for your report?
I'm back on the line. I'm sorry, Peggy and Chair and Vice Chair. This is Doug Gideon here.
Kachina, Viva, Ramona?
Yes, Chairman?
Roll call for yellow hair.
Roll call for Mr. Yellowhair. Your location, please.
I'm here in Window right now.
Okay, Chairman. Chairman, we have 4 members present.
Delegate Bagay. Chair, this is Delegate Bagay. Ramona?
Yes.
Delegate Bagay online.
Okay, Mr. Begay, I need your location, please.
Window up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Begay. We have 5 members present, Chairman.
Okay.
Chair, this is Delegate Brown. I'm calling in from Danahuto, Arizona.
Okay. With that, Ramona? You get that?
Okay, I'm going to recall the roll call. Jamie Hino?
Here, Raymond, New Mexico.
Raymond Smith Jr.?
Zona.
Jimmy Yellowhair?
I'm here.
Elmer P. Begay?
Elmer P. Begay getting to Window Rock on there.
Okay, Amber Kenneth Balcrani? Amber Kenneth Balcrani? Nathaniel Brown?
Delegate Brown here from Danahuto, Arizona.
Okay, I think you should say, Chairman, we have 5 members present.
Okay, we do have a quorum still, so let's call this meeting to order. It's 10:20 a.m. and we do have our agenda before us. With that, though, we've done roll call invocation. Shouldn't I delegate Jimmy Yellowhair? There's a copy on this article.
Question, Shana, Hajarlish, Kuro, use kind of get code. July 14, 2020, a Budget Finance Committee. We're having a special meeting. Agenda is in line right now. Kuro, he touches Kuroni Kati is now Kata Ashon Tako. The Benohod Legat, so no Strado. I don't know, Jesus Christ, Jesus dog. Here, only the Kati was still called. Called Jenna, he has thought in that. Navajo Nation cover by Panelins, Navajo Nation Toy, now kind and the Soda, Sonat on Navajo Nation President, Vice President, are on that our Speaker, Damon To, our Chief Justice, Stock Hoyat, Soyat, Saman Lodan, General, Korebi had the agenda, Korodon, and Hot, Con. The cousin Sazi had no discussion with the code. Your engineers about a con to teleconference by the even in a conjoy, yet end out of pleasure on video, as not need on handitlish Corona or Karinch and not only Jinabi had the decus could I don't hint out of things over that we are so busy other. Toby das Tinda see AI to in her daily change ta aro ni ka na chagi lagi na kaito do a do ka na lo they can it is the Justice Department or on a legislative council. Thank you very much for all your help. Also, a nice condolence card here. Could I just sleep or the t-shirt? I don't know, because then I don't know sleep, you're not sleep, you're not sleep, you're not sleep. Amen.
Yeah, I can't lots of that's the intermediate. So not so next so the publishing a recognizing gift to visiting officials who do earlier Brian Parrish. I was on the line at 10 o'clock sharp. We do have our gifts, our staff, Peggy and Ramona. And then also, I believe we do have Kristen Lowell on the line. I heard her voice earlier. Is she there? Office of Legislative Counsel. Nice, Anita. So, how about Department of Justice, Sean?
Mr. Chair, this is Jana Werner. I'm the only one on the phone right now. AG will get on later. She's currently on the 3-branch meeting call.
Okay, again, Ms. Werner for being on the line here. Do we have, I believe, the Controller's Office on the line? I believe they're over at the on the 3-branch call too also. And I'm Dominic Vial with OMB. I believe the other call too. And then do we have Marty Ashley with Department of Navajo Tax Commission? Okay, is there any other delegates? I heard Daniel Herman, Delegate Herman Daniels on the line earlier, and then also Delegate Daniel So, Chairman So on the line also. Ish and the Inosa.
Oh, I need to stop.
Kashina. Delegate understood at least. I don't know if it's on the line.
I'm on the line, Chair.
Kashina. So we're just down to review and adopt the agenda now. So Peggy, if you would read the agenda for us into the record.
Good morning, members of the Budget and Finance Committee. This is your proposed agenda for July 14, 2020. It's a special meeting via teleconference, 10 a.m. Presiding is Jamie Henio, Chairperson, Raymond Smith, Jr., Vice Chairperson, placed via teleconference, Window Rock, Navajo Nation, Arizona. 1, call the meeting to order. The roll call, the invocation. 2, recognize guests and visiting officials. 3, review and adopt the agenda. 4, review and adopt the journal. There are none. 5, receive reports. A, update presented by Brian Parrish, Interim CEO, Navajo Nation Gaming Enterprise, and others. 6, old business. A, legislation number 043-20. And then B, legislation number 0133-20. And then 7, new business. A, legislation number 051-20. B, legislation number 0341-20. And then legislation number 012-20. D, legislation number 0153-20. 8, closes the session, written announcements, adjournment. So the next regular meeting is August 4th, 2020. And the Navajo Nation Council 2020 summer session is the week of July 20th, 2020. Mr. Chair, Vice Chair.
Kashina, thank you for that reading. Is there a motion, committee member?
I'll go ahead and boost the yellow here.
Okay, motion by Delegate and second by Vice Chairman. Okay, so with that, we got motion and second by Delegate Yellow here and second by Vice Chair Smith. Committee members, any questions or comments on the agenda?
Thank you, Chair. This is Delegate Crotty with a question.
Go ahead, Shema.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to pause and ask if there's any legislations that have been requested to be removed off of the agenda. Chair, thank you.
That's what I was going to ask the committee to remove item B on old business 133-20 off the agenda because I'm going to withdraw. We need to remove it. If we can establish an amendment motion for that.
Thank you, Chairman Henio. I'll motion to remove old business B, legislation 0133-20 off the agenda. Thank you.
Kushi. With that, there's a motion. There's a second, committee members.
I'll motion that. Yellow hair again.
Okay, second by Yellow Hair. Delegate Yellow Hair. So with that, committee members, there's amendment number 1 up for discussion. Any questions or comments on amendment number 1? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Amendment number 1, removing item B on old business 133-20. Delegate Yellow Hair.
Siga, green.
Okay, Vice Chair Smith.
Green.
Delegate Amber Crotty.
Chairman Henio, Delegate Amber Cardi votes green. Thank you.
Delegate Nathaniel Brown.
Delegate Brown, green.
Delegate Elmer P. Delegate Elmer Begay. Oh. Can you hear me? Oh. Okay. We're voting on amendment number 1 to remove legislation 133-20. Agree? Yeah. There you go. We have 5 in favor, 0 opposed, chair not voting. Amendment number 1 carries. Committee members, back to the main motion on the agenda. Do we have any others? Not hearing. Call for the Vice Chair Smith. With that, I'll call for the question on the main motion with 1 amendment. Removing 133-20 is the only amendment we have. So with that, on the main motion, Delegate Yellow Hair, how do you vote?
I'll vote green.
Vice Chair Smith, how do you vote?
Green.
Delegate Amber Crotty, how do you vote? Delegate Amber Crotty on the main motion. Okay, Delegate Nathaniel Brown.
Delegate Brown votes green. Yeah.
Delegate Elmer P. Begay.
Green.
Yeah, we have 4 in favor. Chair not voting on approving the main motion for agenda. With that, let's move forward and move down on the agenda. Review the top journal. There's none. And then receiving reports. We have 1 report A, which is update presented by Brian Parrish, interim CTO of Navajo Nation Gaming Enterprise and others to COP. And we believe we have Mr. Parrish on the line. And so with this, Mr. Parrish, are you ready for your report?
Yeah, Bene, Chairman. Yes, sir. Nisin, Natani,
Can you speak up, Brian?
For your time.
Brian, can you speak up a little louder? We can't. I can barely hear you.
Absolutely, sir. Is that better, sir?
Oh, yes, much better.
Okay, thank you, sir. Honorable Chair and members of the Budget and Finance Committee, thank you so much for your time this morning. I'd like to spend about 10 to 12 minutes just providing some information to you, an update report for Navajo Nation Gaming Enterprise. And if you would like, we also are available to answer questions for any extended period of time. Also, if members would like additional information, we'd be pleased to follow up with that data and reports as requested. Today, for the update to our Budget and Finance Committee, there's approximately 5 items I'd just like to cover. One is a brief financial update of the status of the enterprise. The second one is a personnel-related issue. It's in regards to disclosure requirements associated with a layoff. If we have to get to that point for Navajo Nation Gaming Enterprise staff, that disclosure requirement is outlined in Navajo Preference in Employment Act, and so we are continuing to maintain compliance with that. The third item would be a brief review of our Phase 1 CARES Act funding request. We also had a work session or lengthy meeting with President Nez, Vice President Leiser, and the executive branch team on Saturday, 11 July. We had a chance to get some feedback from the President on our request, and then also addressing the fourth item, which is supporting legislation. We were asking the President for guidance on legislation and see how he felt about us approaching this situation. And so we're anxious to share with you the information that he had provided to us. The final item just involves casino operations and public relations, wanting to give a sense of comfort to the Budget and Finance Committee members that we're fully prepared to reopen at the end of the month. Honorable Chair and members, if I may, we'll be discussing some sensitive and comprehensive financial information. We would like to respectfully request the opportunity to discuss at least the financial items in executive session.
Do you have a secure number for that, Mr. Parrish?
Honorable Chair, yes, sir, I do. I can provide you with a special dial-in and passcode immediately, and we can jump on that call right away.
Okay, let's continue with the public information first, and then we'll have the committee decide on the executive session with a motion and a vote.
Yes, sir. Moving past the financial information, the Budget and Finance Committee will recall that on June 22nd, the committee passed legislation 0127-20. That was in week 14 of the COVID-related closure of the enterprise. That provided us with access to restricted cash set-aside accounts, monies that had been generated by the enterprise for long-term development projects, and also for payment of the Gaming Distribution Fund annual contribution. Anyway, in order to preserve the liquidity of the enterprise, its ability to remain solvent, we requested that the committee approve access to those fundings or those funds for us to be able to continue to maintain our staff on administrative leave with pay. Since that time, we've been utilizing the monies from the capital project, which was primarily for Fire Rock in the permanent construction of that facility. We did set aside $5 million from the Gaming Distribution Fund, and we put that in a set-aside account, unrestricted, for payment of the amended loan agreement. So in the event that we are able to open on July 28th, and within a fairly brief period of time, we're able to receive CARES Act funding support, we would be able to release that money for our June 30th payment on the amended loan agreement. Our overriding concern right now is that we're able to continue to keep our team members on administrative leave with pay. if we're not able to open on the 28th, we will be forced to notify our team members that we must put them on a layoff status as of the 20th of July, which is this coming Monday. We'd like to avoid that at all costs for several reasons. Obviously, our primary concern throughout this process has been the welfare of our team members and their ability to provide for their families, not only with food and necessities, but also with health care benefits. We've been very pleased and fortunate to be able to do that. We have some fixed expenses that we were required to pay during this closure period, and that also includes some debt service payments to the Navajo Nation. We have been diligent in reducing all other non-essential expenses and working very carefully to manage our cash so we can preserve the financial integrity and health of the business as long as we possibly could. When we went into this pandemic, we anticipated the closure being 3, maybe 4 weeks. We are now in the process of being closed for 19 weeks. The enterprise going into this pandemic was in a very strong position financially. We had 2 record years of financial performance. We generated cash flow of approximately $110 million in the past 2 years. We also were able to accelerate set-aside funding for our future development projects, which help us create jobs. And we were also able to set aside an additional $10 million to repay 2 of our 3 NTUA utility infrastructure loans several years early. When the pandemic hit, that changed everything, and we were forced to pull those monies back and utilize those to preserve the employment and the benefits of our team members, cover those fixed expenses we're obligated to pay, and then make as much of our debt service obligation payments back to the Navajo Nation as we possibly could. We paid our March 31st bond payment of $4.8 million to the Navajo Nation. That was out of cash reserves. But again, as the situation extended on the closure and we had to use our reserves for payroll, we were not able to immediately post our June 30th amended loan agreement payment. We did receive Paycheck Protection Program funding of $11.1 million, but that only covered 10 of the 19 weeks of payroll. It did not cover the remaining 8 weeks, nor are we eligible for any additional funding in that area. The enterprise, Navajo Nation Gaming Enterprise, is a cash business, meaning that we're not eligible for federal monies or grant funding. All of the resources that we have to be earned through operations. And so that includes not only covering all of our expenses, but also any development projects, capital improvements, and other things needed for the business. All those monies have to be earned through normal operations of the business. If I may, I'll move on to our CARES Act funding request. We have had an opportunity to review our request, not only with the president, but with the controller and also with outside counsel. We wanted to make sure, first of all, that the items that we were requesting reimbursement for were all allowable under the federal CARES Act legislation. We are pleased to report to you that every one of the items being requested are eligible, fully eligible for reimbursement under the CARES Act. The amount that we had brought forward, again, just for payroll fixed expenses, some interest expense going back to the Navajo Nation, and then COVID-19 medical and emergency related expenses totaled $24.6 million for the full 19-week closure. After we met with President Nez, Vice President Leiser, and the executive branch on Saturday, he requested that we reduce that number further and also come up with 3 to 4 options for adjusted CARES Act funding reimbursement for his consideration. We are in the process of putting those together, and we'll be reviewing those 4 options with our board this evening. Once the board blesses those potential options, we will circulate those not only to President and Vice President, but the 24th Navajo Nation Council. The items that we see that we possibly could reduce, would be the interest expense, of course. That goes back to the Navajo Nation. There are some areas where we could reduce some of the medical and emergency-related expenses. And there's other sources of potential funding to cover some of the personal protective equipment and employee testing that we're looking to receive funding for. So that would bring our request down to between $14.6 million and $19.6 million. We don't believe that we can go much further than that. Again, the funding request that we're submitting has to do with 100% of those items that were already expended, that were reimbursed on behalf of our team members to protect employment, preserve jobs, provide benefits, and pay fixed expenses so the business could reopen. As we approached the President and discussed this CARES Act funding in more detail, we also mentioned to him that we wanted to request guidance on supporting legislation. How did he feel he wanted us to proceed with this? Based on the timeline and us attempting to avoid a layoff status and creating hardship for our team members, we respectfully requested that we would be able to potentially submit emergency legislation in order to avoid triggering that deadline and the layoff status notifications. We understand that that emergency legislation process circumvents many of the steps, the interim steps, to get a piece of legislation approved. That is not our intention. We know that's frowned upon, and that's not something that we want to do. However, given the nature of the situation, we felt that it was necessary and appropriate in this situation. The guidance we received from the President was that he was not in favor of us submitting emergency legislation, that he wanted us to submit our funding request to the three-branch chiefs and allow the three-branch chiefs committee to review our request and then include that in a master expenditure plan that would be presented to the 24th Navajo Nation Council. We received that information and we're working on drafting documentation to support the guidance being received from our Navajo Nation leadership. Again, we're reaching out to 24th Navajo Nation Council to share this information and hopefully receive additional guidance in this area. The last item before getting into the financial information in executive session is that we've developed reopening plans which are exhaustive. They contain comprehensive countermeasures for protecting the safety, health, and general welfare of our team members, their families, the Diné people, and our patrons. We have gone to tremendous lengths. We've even surveyed all of our team members to get their feedback. We've had over 500 responses out of our 1,200 team members where they've written back to us and explained their concerns. Their primary concern is that the patrons will come in and they will not observe and comply with the protocols that we put in place. We're explaining to our team members through videos, through in-person training, and also in writing that we are prepared to stand by our countermeasures and ask any patrons who are not willing to comply with our safety guidelines, which includes wearing their masks at all times on property, that we would be prepared to ask the patrons to leave the facility until they were able to return and were willing to comply with those COVID-related requirements. We'll be opening at best 50% capacity, meaning that we will have half of our slot machines out of service. We will only have 2 or 3 chairs per table game and half of our food and beverage seats available. We will also be cutting hours, and then the staff that would normally be working those additional shifts will be rolled into a Navajo Cares team, cleaning team, to assist all of us. We're all going to assist in deep cleaning the operations and the facilities every single day to properly protect everyone. This way we can return our team to work. We can stop having this negative cash flow situation where our expenses are continuing to be paid while we have no revenue coming in. Once we can generate some revenue, we can start getting into a cash flow neutral or cash flow positive situation. We can stop the bleeding, and we can start rebuilding some cash reserves to the point where we can resume regular payments on our amended loan agreement debt service to the Navajo Nation. Mr. Chair and members of Budget and Finance Committee, that concludes the general information we can share, and I'd be pleased to answer any questions on those topics, or we can save those for executive session when we go to review the financial information.
Thank you, Mr. Parrish. Thank you for all the work that you're doing and your team with Navajo Gaming Enterprise. Committee members, any questions regarding what was presented to us?
Chair. Good morning again. Oh, I don't to Vice President, my colleagues, I must be in the committee. I would like to motion to report Mr. Parrish, CEO, a very good report, my friend. Thank you. Legal for a certain report, Chair.
Okay, motion to accept the report, open report. Is there, we do also have a, go ahead. Is there a second?
Question of privilege, Chair? Question of privilege?
Go ahead.
Yes, if we accept the report, are we not going to do the executive session? That's question of privilege.
When we do motion, there's a motion and a second to accept the report. Then from there we can ask questions, and then we can also motion to go in executive session. Here the report in executive session, continue on, and then from there when we exit we can go back to the motion and second and accept the whole report all at once.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, second by Vice Chair Smith. The motion and the second to accept the report. With that, committee members, there was also a request by Mr. Parrish to go in executive session to have him report on sensitive financial items from the gaming enterprises. Their motion, committee members.
Abiga, Yellow Hair.
Motion by Shananta Delegate Yellow Hair. Is there a second?
A second by Vice Chair Smith.
Okay, Vice Chair Smith, seconds that. Mr. Parrish, how much time would you need in the executive session?
Honorable Chair, I would say 3 to 5 minutes at most, sir, without questions.
Okay. Yeah, we'll set it up for just to be on the safe side. Let's do 10 minutes with a possible extension to 15, but let's do 10. Committee members, 10 minutes executive session to give us some information regarding our finances. So there's a motion, second. All those in favor? Delegate Yellow Hair?
Yeah, Green.
Okay, Vice Chair Smith?
Green.
Okay, Shema, Delegate Amber Cody?
Chair, this is Peggy. Delegate Crotty asked to be excused so that she could be at the three branch meeting.
Okay, Egon, thank you for that. She'll just hereby excuse him. Delegate Nathaniel Brown?
Delegate Brown votes green.
Yeah, Delegate Elmer Begay. Delegate Elmer Begay. Okay, we have 3 in favor. Chair not voting. No opposed. Chair not voting. 2 delegates
Delegate Abercrombie is excused, and Delegate DeGay is not voting. We are in executive session. Do you have the number handy? Did you give it to Peggy, Brian?
Honorable
your
Chairman,
email.
yes, sir, we did. Miss Peggy has the number. Miss Perfilia sent it to her.
Okay.
Chair, I emailed the number out to all of you. I'll text it to you too.
Kashi, I'll email it to our honorable delegates there on the line also. Delegate Daniels, Delegate Daniel So, and who else is on the line? I think this.
Alona's on the line. Alona's on the line.
Delegate.
Oh, yeah. Hey, good morning, everybody.
Okay, so you'll be getting an email regarding executive session call-in number, and we shall see you on the other side. Let's convene the executive session at 10:55, and there'll be 10 minutes. Hold on. It'll be 10 minutes.
Can you?
Peggy. Yes.
Sarah, can you?
Also, Kristen. Who's there?
Just Chair, this is Fern Benali from Forest Lake. How long do you expect to be in the special session? I was on the
Session is,
bus.
where we set the time limit for 10 minutes.
No, Fern.
Okay, are we ready to go, committee members?
Yeah, we're ready. Let's get the number.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Mute off.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. Is currently an executive session for 10 minutes.
I'm back on the call. This is Peggy.
Good morning, Vice Chair. Back on board.
This is Chair Henio back on board.
Yellow hair back on board too?
Is Delegate McKay?
Hello. This is Peggy back on the call.
Ramona.
That's Chairman.
Can you do a roll call for us?
Sure. Roll call for the budget and finance.
Excuse me, can someone mute their phone? Because we're having an echo.
Roll call for the Budget and Finance Committee of the Navajo Nation Council, July 14, 2020, special meeting. Jamie Henyo?
I'm here. Go, Raymond.
Raymond Smith Jr.,
Present.
Jimmy Yellowhair,
Present.
Elmer P. Begay,
Vote green.
Amber Kenneth Bott Crotty, Nathaniel Brown,
Delegate Brown is here from Denver.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chase. Chairman, we have 5 members present returning from executive session.
Miga, good. Thank you for that roll call. Thank you, committee members. We did have executive session at 11:07 a.m. Motion by Delegate Yellowhair, second by Delegate Brown. Call for the question to exit executive session. Delegate Yellowhair, how do you vote?
Oh, excuse me.
Delegate Yellowhair.
How about green?
Vice Chair Smith.
Green.
Green. Delegate Nathaniel Brown.
Delegate Brown votes green. Yeah.
Delegate Elmer P. Begay.
Green.
We have 4 in favor, chair not voting, and Delegate Crotty is excused. So we have we're out of the executive session, back on public record, and getting back to our agenda. And our agenda is the report by Mr. Parrish. Mr. Parrish, is there any other additional comments you would like to make before I ask for questions or comments from the committee?
Honorable Chair, only just to express our sincere appreciation for everyone's time today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Carla. Committee members, any questions regarding the report from Mr. Parrish? If not, we could call for the question. Okay, I'll call for the question to accept the report.
I have a question.
Okay, Delegate Elmer Begay.
Okay, my question is, I'm not sure if it was been mentioned that by Brian. The question is, I know that all the employees, the permanent employees, probably they'll be returning back to work. And I don't know if some of them will ever consider to go on furlough. And I'm pretty sure they can use if they're on furlough. I think they can go on to collect unemployment too. I think that one, the $600 that's been given by the stimulus funds. Which I understand that it's extended back to
into December 2020. So I know that I don't know if they were furlough, but my main question is, what about the interns, so college interns? Are they on furlough, or are they being retained back to work, or how's that one? Are they completely getting off the work or out of work? Are they terminated, or what's the status on it? That's my question.
Honorable Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Parrish.
Okay. Honorable Begay, thank you so much for your question, sir. In regards to the $600 per week unemployment stimulus funding that was provided by the federal government, our understanding is that the availability of those funds will be exhausted by the 25th of July. So we have not heard about an extension to December, but we are, as soon as we're off this call, I'm going to task our Finance and Human Resources team to verify that information. The other question was in regards to our interns. The majority of the interns have fulfilled their responsibilities as part of the program. Many of them are preparing to return to school, albeit all online. 3 or 4 of them were actually hired already by some of the other Priority 1 and Priority 2 businesses that were engaged to help us construct the Navajo Blue Travel Plaza. So the program worked exactly as we hoped. So none of our team members that were interns that were working on that program were furloughed. And presently, we do not have any of our team members on a furlough or a layoff status. I hope that answers your question, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Brian, thank you for that response. Any other committee members?
Thank you.
Christine Shat, Tanita. So let's move to accept the report. Delegate Yellowhair.
Green, I'll vote green. Chair.
Okay, Vice Chair Smith.
Green.
Delegate Nathaniel Brown.
I vote green. Yeah.
Okay, Delegate Elmer P. Begay.
Green.
Yeah, we are 4 in favor, 0 opposed, chair not voting, and Delegate Amber Cuddy is excused. So let's launch for accepting the report. Thank you, Brian, and your team members. And let's move forward to old business. Legislation 043-20. Peggy, if you would.
Chair, hold on. Can we back up a minute? Who did the motion and second for the report? I'm just trying to verify my record here.
Delegate Yellowhair. Motion second by Vice Chair Smith.
Okay. I just wanted to double check. All right. Legislation number 043-20, an action relating to resources and development, budget and finance, Navajo committees and Navajo Nation Council, approving supplemental funding from the unreserved undesignated fund balance in the amount of $3,000 for Forest Lake chapter official stipend for fiscal year 2017, waiving 12 NNC sections 820E and 820F regarding the designation of recurring and non-recurring revenues. And this is sponsored by Jimmy Yellowhair, Council Delegate. This was considered by the Budget and Finance Committee on June 18, 2020. The main motion is held by Elmer P. Begay, seconded by Jimmy Yellowhair. The tabling motion was made by Amber Crotty, seconded by Nathaniel Brown. The vote was 4 in favor, 1 opposed. The sponsor was requested to provide supporting documentation from the Forest Lake chapter related to why chapter officials were not paid in 2017, why the 2018 carryover funds were not used, and then a directive motion for the Forest Lake chapter to provide supporting documentation for their request demonstrating how funds are administered at the chapter. And that was a directive made by Raymond Smith Jr., seconded by Nathaniel Brown, with a vote of 5 in favor, 0 opposed. So, Mr. Chair, we need a recall motion on this. And then we also have some documentation that Mr. Yellowhair provided, as well as also Brenda Holgate provided also some documentation for the Forest Lake chapter. And I think they're on the call as well.
Okay, with this committee members, their motion to recall this legislation. 043-20.
Can I motion that, Chair? Yellowhair?
Motion by Delegate Yellowhair.
Yeah.
There's a second.
Right, Delegate Yellow.
Is there a
Second by
second?
Vice Chair Smith.
Oh, Vice Chair Smith, second. Okay, there's a motion to recall legislation 043-20. Motion by Delegate Yellowhair, second by Vice Chair Smith. Delegate Yellowhair, how do you vote?
I'll vote green.
Okay, Vice Chair Smith.
Green.
Okay, Delegate Yellowhair. Delegate Nathaniel Brown.
I'll go green.
Okay, Delegate Elmer Begay. Delegate Elmer P. Begay. Okay, we have 3 in favor, 0 opposed, chair not voting, Delegate Amber Crowdy is excused, and Delegate Elmer P. Begay not voting. This matter is being back on record now, recalled, and we do still have a motion in a second on this. Motion by Elmer P. Begay, main motion, and second by Delegate Yellowhair. So today, going back to the floor, Delegate Yellowhair, there was materials that you could, Budget Finance Committee members from the Forest Lake Chapter H, are they available?
Oh, here, the chair. So, Vice Chair, to add on the Shinat on Hikindash my colleagues being at committee. Also, other councils, 24th Council, is not fine. Governor, here. Shady Kora Ita, a not Sosti, Forest Lake Chapters 2017, 8 of Agenda, Sierra Ita, September 2017, Arotzada. Ita is a basis on Nishli, the Don Hidosa, the Naso Tani. A co husband, she's a shit at Iki. Nika deal with it, Nika deal with. Let's get this pay 2017 for 3 chapter officials never received their starting. So I honor the request not only. A call today, Yako letters which is the 8 login for split. They wrote to